There's no sound. I can't hear any sound.
Me neither.
But we look cute. Hey, Jeannie, your texts are blocking the video.
Okay, sorry, that was so hard for me to do, and I forgot that I was on screen. Anyway, I want to say hi, welcome everyone. This is so exciting, and I'm Jeannie Ralston, and I did the hike this in October, and we have others here who did the hike. Courtney, you want to say hello?
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you.
So we're going to be when you have questions and stuff, we're going to be fielding Courtney, and then Emily. Can you say hello?
Hi guys.
That's Emily and Christine. I'm going to see if
everybody.
Anybody else here from the trip. I can't see everybody. So, Denise is here. Denise.
Hi.
Hey, Denise. So when we're going to talk about everything, but I want them to be answering a lot of questions, because I don't want you to feel like this is a sales. It's not sales. It's meeting. Even though I just sent you that that video or played that video, it's just to convey the excitement. It's incredibly exciting. So I'm going to have Courtney, Emily, Christine, and Denise just say like a couple lines of like what it meant to them to accomplish this. Courtney.
Yeah, so Denise is my buddy and my bestie. And so we went together, and I think, it was a bucket list. I'll speak for myself. It was a bucket list trip. And it ended up, I knew it would be great, but I think I speak for all of us. It was just life-changing. It was amazing. It was, you can't believe you're there with really cool people. The food is wonderful. It's a mixture of pushing yourself, but enjoying your time. Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's life-changing is all I can say without being too corny. And I can't even explain what that means, but it's just, it really is. It was life-changing.
Yay. Emily?
Sorry. I can say it in a few words. It's one of the best experiences I think I'll ever have in my lifetime. And I'm old. So and I've done a lot of things, but to Courtney's point, I mean, reiterating all of those things. I went with my good friend Christine, and, you know, we had a great time together, but we had really a great time with all the participants. I mean, it's a real bonding experience. And, you know I'll never lose touch with this group of women, which really means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Denise, you want to add to that?
I'd be happy to. I have a puppy that's very hungry, so I'll try to do this without her whining too much. So as Courtney was saying, I went on this trip with 11 women and I knew one. I was a little nervous. I wasn't worried about my physical conditioning. I wasn't worried about my mental stamina. I was worried about not knowing anyone. And I have to say that from the moment I met the first person I didn't know to the last day, I now have a new family. And it was probably the hardest thing and one of the most rewarding adventures I've ever been on. And like Emily said, this is probably one of the most memorable things I've ever put my body through. And it's nice being able to meet and to bond with women you don't know and to have instant besties.
Yay. And Christine was nicknamed MacGyver on our trip because she had all the little tools and everything, even duct tape for Emily's shoe sole. She walked so much her sole of her shoe came off. So she was there ready to go, fixing that up. So Christine, Miss MacGyver, tell us your story.
I mean, it's a similar theme, right? So for me, during COVID, I needed a goal to focus on. So I'd already told Emily we were going to do this. And then Jeannie dropped this trip a couple months later in my email. And I'm like, serendipitous, we're doing this. And it was just such a great thing to focus on this past year, just thinking about it and getting ready for it. For me, I love the planning about trips as much as anything else, which is why I had everything we could ever need for the trip. I had the heaviest bag too, by the way. And I mean, and I think that really, in a way, kind of sums it up, because I went with a friend, but an individual goal. But when we finished, we weren't individuals anymore. We were a group of people that really we helped each other get through the hard times, and because when you have a group, not everybody's low at the same moment or struggling at the same moment. And so, we finished as one big group, and I didn't expect that out of this. That wasn't, it was just a wonderful surprise at the end of that. And it was physically very challenging, but if you train for it, you can do it. It's hard. There's moments that are hard, but that's where the grit comes in. And I know y'all have it. So
yeah. So we might have Olga and Flora. Maybe we'll get to them in a minute, because these are two people who did it. But I want to make sure all of you who are here, and you must have lots of questions. So I don't know if you want to write your questions in chat, or if I should just call on each of you and you kind of, say what your hope is, and then one of your biggest questions, and I can write them down, or what. So I'm going to start with Vanessa Sinclair, who's sick, but she's spunky.
You put me on the spot here.
Oh.
I love what everyone was saying about the sisterhood, because I just came back from San Miguel and I feel the same. Like the 12 of us, this real tight group, because we shared a lot of very very personal stuff, So
Right.
I love Jeannie's groups. I was looking for inspiration to kind of get fit and just shed some COVID pounds. And at Jeannie's, what's it called? Out Loud, I won the little llama keychain. And I'm like, maybe that's a sign I should go to Machu Picchu. So I've kind of set myself this goal that some days I'm like, yes, I can do it. And other days I'm like, am I crazy? But I have time. I'm not worried about not knowing people, because I get to know them, but the fitness thing and the altitude more than anything, I think, is what concerns me, because I think that will get to me So how
Okay,
did you find altitude?
I'm gonna like fitness, altitude. I'm gonna write down questions that we're gonna address.
Did
and
you
then-
hike down again, by the way? You went up and down, right?
Oh yeah, you go up and down. So I do have a slideshow that is different from what I just showed you, but it talks about, it gives you an idea of what the terrain looks like and, different sites along the way, which I can go through, we can discuss this, but I want to make sure I hear, some of the main things people want to talk about. Bonnie Baisley, what about you?
Hello. I started typing questions in the chat.
Okay, good.
One of my questions was, does anyone just go by themselves without their friend or whatever? And I don't know if people normally come in pairs. I might very well, if I do this, and I do travel alone sometimes, so it's fine.
Oh, alone? No, you won't be alone. You will never.
Okay, so
not
it's
be
just,
alone.
yeah.
I thought
and
you
then-
meant, do people go hike the trail?
No.
Volunteer? No. we have to-
Another
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, another question I had was, I was thinking, who else? I mean, this is a really special experience, I would think. And I was thinking, I don't know if any of my girlfriends my age would want to go, but I was thinking about she's my non-daughter, and I wondered about the age limit. She's only 20, she'll be 28 by that point. So if doesn't fit in the paradigm, I understand that.
No, we had one young person on this trip. She was 35, and we let her come in because I actually, she was the niece of a friend who was on the trip. But also I thought, well, if we have one young person, at least she'll be dragging the rest of us up if necessary.
Okay, so that might be allowed if she were even
It's
able.
not out of the question. I mean,
Okay.
obviously we can talk about that.
Okay.
I want to give first priority to women our age, but really, and I think probably maybe only one of the whole group should be young, and she'll have a heavy burden. So
Well, we would and I just didn't know if that was even in the realm. So
it's not out of the question.
okay, and my other, of course, question, which I'm sure you're going to be addressing, is fitness and how people trained for it and what kind of guidelines there are for training, how far you go each day, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, fitness and training. We'll get to that. What Bonnie.
Yeah, thank you.
Janice, sweet sister, can you tell me, besides me really pushing you to come, what?
Well, I have friends who have done it and who have marveled, and I've seen pictures of their experience. So it was also something of a bucket list thing for me. I had pretty much geared up. I hadn't thought a lot about the preparation and the training and all of that, leading up. But then, given some of the things that occurred, and I had to bow out, I kind of let that go. So I would like to find out, the particulars on trying to, be in the condition and the shape. So first.
Oop, you froze. Janice. Oops, she froze. Let's go on to Laura. I think she's not coming back. I'm going to write her. Laura E., can you unmute?
Yeah, all my questions have been covered here, so I'm just looking forward to the slideshow. Thanks.
Okay, and Athena, hi Athena.
Hey Jeannie, how are you?
I'm good. So what's your, is this something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, it's definitely a bucket list, and I've talked about it several times with different friends. And when I saw your trip planned for this year, I was excited and thought about it, but we had the big event coming up and with Alexander's wedding, and I don't think that it would work. So anyway, so I'm very interested. Obviously talked to some Elliser who had been on the trip with y'all, and she raved about it. So fitness would be the first, and if you did any type of training, and then the second, obviously, well, not obviously, but it's obvious to me, I'm not a camper, so to speak. So with the 3 overnights in camping, how is that?
Okay, I get it. Okay, so Athena, and I wanted to introduce Mary Stewart. Janice, you're back, but I'm sorry you got cut off. But that's okay. You
It
got
keeps
cut-
me off. It keeps kicking me off, but I'll just keep rejoining.
Okay. Okay, great. And we have Mary Stewart Pfeiffer. She's not connected yet. Barbara Hashimoto. Can you say hi, Barbara?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I've been wanting to do a trip to Peru, Machu Picchu. So I'm just seeing what this one has to offer. And I'd like to join a group of women. I think that would be really nice.
Okay, great. And Natalie Perry. Hey, Natalie, do you want to say hi?
I do.
Hi.
Yeah, my daughter went on a student exchange program to Peru a couple of years ago. So I was like, I said heard of all these places. I'd like to go there too.
Oh, good. So you
But
hiking?
she
mean,
stayed
you.
with I've dabbled in hiking.
Okay, good, good, good. I believe you. Okay, so and there's Mary Stewart Pfeiffer, who was on one of our San Miguel trips and is a world traveler. Hey, Mary Stewart. Can you hear me, Mary Stewart? Maybe she can't hear me. And we're going to get to Flora in a minute, but Kelly Jo Horton, can you say hi?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm in Bend, Oregon.
Oh, good.
I'm interested in this. I actually just like 3 weeks ago got back from doing the Camino Portuguese.
Oh, wow. Okay. You are a hiker. You are a walker.
That's the first time I've lived out of a backpack ever in my life, but I'm actually ready to do it again. It was so much fun. I loved it. I love active vacations. I'm not a sit on the beach person. So
Yep.
I look for vacations where I can learn something and keep moving.
Okay, well, good. So I hope I got everybody. What I want to do, I think will be good now. And I think anybody, so we also have Olga. Can you wave, Olga, and say hi?
Yes, hi. Hi, everybody.
She was on the trip. And we also have Flora Marvin. Flora's, doesn't have her picture up, but Flora's on. Hi, Flora. Hi there, you're in the car too. So
Yeah, I'm in the car.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do go through some slides. And so anybody who's been on the trip can jump in with comments. If you have a question, we're going to address the fitness, altitude, and camping for sure. And we'll also address peeing, bathroom stuff on the trail, because that's always a big question. So
before I have to jump off, I want to put my 2 cents in.
Okay.
And that is, buy your equipment early, wear it, use it, break it in, make sure that everything is comfortable, and train hard. Don't go unprepared. You need to train for this. And I went a couple of days early to get acclimated, and I recommend that if your schedule permits. And then the only last thing I'm gonna say is, like, take plenty of wipes, because you can't have too many. And that's it. Have fun. It's great. Do it.
okay, good. Okay, so here we're going to go back to my thing, and we'll start. I was going to start us in Cusco, but we don't need to start in Cusco because hold on a second. So big, because we can get to that if you need to. So I'm going to move on. This is all Cusco fun stuff that's included will be included. Why is it not going? Hold on. Problems again with my technology. Okay, there. So let me. All this is going to be happening. Good food, good friendship. So we're going to expand it to 3 days in Cusco before you start to get acclimated. So that's going to help you because you need that time. We did 2 days. We had 2 days scheduled, but I decided to be better to do 3 and that helps just the group gel too also. And then we have a lot of fun things to do in Cusco. Cusco is a great city. This little bracelet is one thing that Christine, who's on this call, gave to everyone the day or as soon as we all joined together, as a group, and she had these made for us. So, and we all wore them and we looked down at them when we needed to. So we went with this is the very beginning. This is kilometer 82. We get picked up in Cusco at our hotel about 5:30 in the morning. We have already talked to our outfitters and we have decided, the porters will carry a certain amount of weight. You have to pay a little extra if you want more weight, but it's not, a lot, but you don't carry your sleeping bag and all that. You carry just the things you need for the day, like your rain gear, your water, some snacks, layers as you get hot or cold, sunscreen, bug spray, that kind of thing. So the packs are fairly light, unless you're MacGyver and you bring in the kitchen sink with you. So that's the very beginning. And we cross a beautiful river. That's one of the first things we do. And then, especially at the very beginning, we go through some little villages and there's places to get drinks and so forth. The first day is not a difficult day. I mean, it's pretty flat. You can see it's very dirty, not dirt path. It's not a stone path. And Christine, how much did we go on the first day? I don't have that in front of me.
Yeah, so my watch said that it was close to 8 hours, but that includes stopping for lunch and stuff. We went just about 8 miles, but from a ascent or descent, we went up about 2,000 feet, down about 1,000 feet over the course of that hike. So that was and we were between 8,500 feet and 9,700 feet elevation. So that was definitely, you're right, Jeannie, kind of the least amount of ups and downs.
Yes. And it was, so Cusco is at 11,000 feet in altitude. So when you start the first day, you're actually starting at lower, which is helpful because you've gotten acclimated at this higher place. Then you go to the lower and you walk, you're kind of walking through a valley. You see a lot of beautiful, you see the river. This is a river valley. You start rising up above the river valley. You see beautiful Inca villages or sites, and and your guides talk about them. And here you can see in the background here you see the glaciers, the peaks and stuff. I mean, you are in the Andes. This is just major Andes mountains that you're going through. We always stop we always stop for lunch. The food is great. They're so competent and skilled at making really good food on the trail. So we stopped for lunch in the middle of the day. This is actually our first campsite. And we stopped near I guess by somebody's house or something. And we camped there. And the porters put up your tents. They bring you hot little bowls of pans of water to wash up in after you get in. You claim your bag with your sleeping bag and everything, and then you have some downtime and then you go to dinner. This was on day 2, and Courtney's pointing at Huayla Bamba. I can't even say it. That is like that's where we stopped the first time. So we're going, if you continue looking up from where Huayla Bamba is, you're going to see that it goes pretty far up there. And that's called Dead Woman's Pass. The hardest day is, well, I shouldn't say it. It was for me, but I think other people might have had different ideas. Day 2 is the hardest because you're going to go to the highest altitude. You're going up to Dead Woman's Pass. And this is your porters. This is what the porters look like going by you. I wanted to say that there's like 17 porters for the 12 of us. So, that's great. And this is on that second day, you beautiful setting. You're going into some different kind of a microclimate, a little bit more green. And this is where now this is before lunch. We started the climb before lunch. We started, you could definitely tell it's scooting up, it's getting a little steeper. So, and this is what a lunch tent looks like, and a dinner. That's where you eat for all your meals. Then this is where after lunch is when you get to the real stuff. And I kept telling Courtney, oh, we're not the bad stuff yet, but I forgot. I had done it once before and things had changed. So we actually, Courtney was going, you were already doing the hard stuff. And I kept saying, no, it's not the hard stuff yet. But you got that. I hope that helped you get through. It was an accident, but I hope it helped you get through. Anyway, you can see, I don't know if you can look at this picture and see the people way in the back, and you can see a kind of line where the trail kind of is just going cutting on the side of the mountain. So that's what you're climbing up. This is Courtney nearing the top of Dead Woman's Pass. And you just looked, if you see my cursor, if you look down there, that's basically kind of where we started the day. So the second day, the altitude gain is like 4,000 feet. What is it, Christine? It's like 4,000 vertical feet.
Yeah, so we started the day at that 9,700, and when we got to Dead Woman's Pass, we were at 13,870. So almost a 14er, if you guys are familiar with those in the US. But we ascended 4,200 feet that day to get up to Dead Woman's Pass.
Within a few hours.
And Jeannie, it's one thing you might want to explain. Dead Woman's Pass is because it looks like the profile of a woman, not because women die there.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
Didn't lose anybody on Dead Woman's Pass.
No, nobody's died on Dead Woman's Pass.
Nobody's died.
It just looks like
women.
I don't have a picture of the boob. There's a boob. Couldn't find a picture. It looks like a boob.
And another thing real quick for the women that are have mentioned concerns about the altitude or your fitness. I think for me, it would be important to know that we have two guides. There were 17 porters, 2 guides. One guide leads, one guy is a sweeper. So comes up the back to make sure, so nobody's ever left behind. Nobody ever is allowed to get up in front. And they carry an oxygen tank with them, like a full-blown oxygen tank, not one of those little canisters. So for those that are concerned about the altitude or breathing, they do carry that. So I just thought that might be
Yes. I didn't introduce you to our guides, yes, but our guides were wonderful. We loved our guides, some of us more than others. And that he called us family from the very beginning. If you might have read my story where I kind of talk about that, where it was just a family. I wrote a whole story about this climb on Next Tribe. So this is at the top of Dead Woman's Pass. And, we do have people get up to the top at different times. And the important thing to remember is it's not a race. It's not a race. You don't have to move fast. You can move slowly. And, I tried to help people pace themselves, but mostly the guides will do that. I mean, they're the experts. They'll do that, but it's more like we did things like we did a little zigzag up the slope so that it'll cut down the how difficult it felt. We did some wedding march steps where we stepped and put our other foot together, then stepped and put our other foot together, just to slow down our pace on that hard part. And so just and there's frequent rest, that kind of thing. So they're really, the guides are there to help you do it. They want you to succeed. And all 12 of us made it. And there's Denise and Courtney at the top. And this is here are the guides. These are our 2 guides. The guy in the blue is our head guide, and this is Edwin. This is Rojo, our main guide, Edwin, our sweeper. And they helped the 2 women who, they're not here tonight, but they're sisters, and they took a little more time, but nobody made them feel like, there was a problem. It was just the time they needed to get there. And then when we look how everybody was cheering them on, this is when they got up to the top. We were all so happy with that, which can, kind of goes with Courtney's idea, or everybody's who's talked about we did this together. And so there they are at the top. That's the other side of Dead Woman's Pass. So, and whoever asked if there's ups and downs, yes, you go up Dead Woman's Pass and then you go down. And some people who might want to join in right here, found the downhill just as hard, which and so I kind of lied. I said, oh, the worst is over. The hardest part's over when we got to the top, but that doesn't hold true for everyone. It's a pretty steep downhill, as you can see here. So
yeah, we went back, Jeannie, down about 2,000 feet after we went up. And what I always like to say is that the going up is hard on your heart and your lungs, but the going down is hard on your legs. So it's, it's just different.
Yeah. And you can see the hiking poles are just, some people brought their own. You can rent them for $25 or something for the whole trip. They're essential for your stability, for your knees, your legs. They really take a lot of, that's Olga looking back up. So you can see the idea of how the steepness on the way down. And here is our second campsite when we came down from Dead Woman's Pass. And so, we had the blue tents are like kind of the cooking tent, the dining tent. Here again, now we're coming on the third day, and the third day, this is a local woman, a local woman who is a porter, which we love to see. We cheered them on the whole way. And the second day, or the third day, you have to go up another climb, which is it's almost as high as Dead Woman's Pass, but not quite. The good thing about that is that you start higher. So you're going, you're not starting from such a low altitude on that third day. You're starting at higher altitude. Christine, can you tell us on the third day what we did?
That's the day my Garmin failed me.
Yeah.
I failed my Garmin. I'm not sure which.
Okay, so I think but our altitude where we stopped was something around, I thought it was around 10 or 11. And then when we got up to almost 13 again for the second hill, second climb, and there's Minky up at the top of that. That's us, people coming up the second mountain on the second day. There's Emily. There's so many beautiful little hiking, beautiful things to see along the way. Okay, yes, there's time to rest. Let's see. And this is, the third day we went to another, along the way, you see these Inca sites that nobody sees except the ones that hike the trail. So, and they were built for the Incas who used to come along this way, or for farming or for defense. And we have our guides always explain that to us. So you're seeing Inca sites that nobody else sees. It's not like the masses of people that come to Machu Picchu. They don't see this stuff. This again, another beautiful site. This is just to give you an idea of the food, and they do such cute things like that little bird. I mean, they're just really wonderful with the food. There's Flora, another beautiful little hiking spot. This to give you the idea of the path in this, probably especially day 3 and 4, and somewhat on day 2. The path is the stone path from that the Incas built. I'm sure it's been repaired and stuff, but you can see the difference from that path and the path that we started on. I showed you that it was dirt path, so that you can see the difference there. This is our last campsite. Was just gorgeous. It was so high up, beautiful. We even got cell signal in a few spots. So and this is one of my favorite pictures of the whole trip. It's so cute. Everybody in their tents. You can either share a tent or you can have your own tent. $70 extra for your own tent. It's probably less warm. It's better if you share the tent if you want to keep warm. This is just some of the stuff the chef did, a cake on the last night. And this is the llamas that hung out near our last campsite. And we had to get up in the dark for that particular day, but I'm changing the hike a bit. So you should not have to be getting up and seeing these llamas in the dark. You should be able to just see them in the day. This is the last day. So this is day 4. Day 4 is when you get to Machu Picchu, and we had to go down a lot of steps because we started up high, and Machu Picchu is actually at like 8,900 feet altitude. So you end up going down a lot on the last day. This is called Winna Wina. I think that's it. This is what I think I considered, and maybe a lot of you others who are there, you can chime in. Most beautiful Inca site, and nobody's there. It's all to yourself.
I liked it more than Machu Picchu, honestly.
Me too. I'm with you guys on that.
I know. I believe it too, because look at it. It's just, it's so gorgeous and intact, but it's not crowded with people. And we can talk about, you know, the Machu Picchu crowds and stuff later, but this is everybody hanging around on that beautiful Winna Wina site. You can see how steep it is. You can see the river down there. And this, okay, this is the thing I forgot to tell everybody, but now you will know from the very beginning. After you're getting so close, your goal is to get to the Sun Gate, which is it's a high point, which is an entrance. You can see Machu Picchu below you. It's where all the Incas that used to come from Cusco, where they entered Machu Picchu. And you're walking, and it's kind of rolling hills, but then there's one thing left. It's called the monkey climb, also known as Gringo Killer. I don't know if you can really tell from this, but it's almost straight up. You have to use your hands and feet both.
But it's doable. It's totally doable. You know, anybody here can do it. It's not, I mean, it's vertical, but it's not, you're not scaling anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can totally do it. But yeah, at the end, when you're hiking and you see that, you're like, oh.
I know, you're like, what? And you're like,
but you can totally do it.
that.
Yeah, you can totally do it. Everybody here can totally do that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was more intimidating when we first saw it than actually doing it.
Yeah.
100%.
And so after the monkey climb, you get to, I don't know if I have a good picture of the Sun Gate. I don't, but it's just a stone platform, which is what Denise is standing on. And down there, right here, this is Machu Picchu. This is the gumdrop mountain that you usually see. It's a little bit in the clouds there. And this is what the name of the Sun Gate is in the Quechan language. And this is, so after the Sun Gate, there is the downhill to get to Machu Picchu. So here we are walking down, downhill to Machu Picchu. And then here we are we're at Machu Picchu. There it is. You know, it's like, oh my God, you just cannot believe that you are there, the place that's been photographed thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and you are actually there. It's almost surreal. And look at these two. Oh, so
well, and the best part is you see all the people that took the trains in see you, and you know, we've got our walking sticks, they can have walking sticks, and you could hear their guides telling them all like they walked here, and you felt like a rock star there. Because everybody, I mean, we looked the part that we had walked in there, right? By day 4.
And smelled the part.
But you know, I felt like we walked through the place as rock stars, because everybody was like, wow.
They really were. It was a great feeling. It just added to that sense of accomplishment. And so this is out of order. I couldn't get, this is the Sun Gate. These are one of my favorite, this is also one of my favorite pictures. The awe and wonder and relief on their faces. These are the two sisters. Oh my God, it just gives me chills. I was crying. We were all crying when they got there and they got to see it. They saw Machu Picchu. And then you already saw that. I wanted to tell you that this is the other side of it. And I did this on purpose. I think this is why I want it to be sort of like attuned just to women like us. Okay, we've worked our asses off. Now we're going to stay in one of the most luxurious hotels, Belmond hotels, super luxurious, beautiful food, wine, whatever. We rewarded ourselves. We got body treatments. It was like the classic way to do, the classic women of a certain age way to do this in my mind, because you have to have a reward. And then this is the train on the way back. So we spent one night, and I love this picture. And even the train was fun. We had, It was so much fun. Even, I'm going to stop sharing. Even when we were in the hardest part, we still managed to have fun. So this should give you some idea that let's talk about the altitude. As you know, a lot of people, oh, go ahead.
Jeannie, real quick, I'm sorry. I just want to, before we start answering questions, the food, y'all, this isn't slop. This isn't REI freeze dried in a bowl. Ceviche, like a few of us are vegetarian. They made special food for us, beautiful vegetables. You saw the presentation. It was, I mean, cake the last night and more food. We ate, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, maybe a 10th of the food they made. And it was plate after plate after plate after plate after plate. So honestly, I just want to highlight that when you're there, you're working hard, but breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the food is absolutely amazing. So sorry, Jeannie.
No, I'm glad. I want you guys to jump in, because they don't need to hear too much from me always. Because I mean, I want you.
No, it was, I mean, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And if you have a special diet, they are completely eager and happy to you know, give you the food that you prefer. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in there.
Yes, and I mean, that's great. Thank you. And so, but as far as the altitude, I can say that almost everybody on the trip did take Diamox, right? I mean, there is something called Diamox that can help with altitude adjustment if you're worried about that. And 3 of us did not take it, and it's just a particular choice. They give you coca leaves to chew on, which are supposed to help you. There's different things you can do, like the way you breathe through your nose. What are some other ways that we worked with the altitude? I can't remember.
Llama pee.
Oh, the llama pee.
That you can get in New Jersey and take it with you.
We thought it was some and it's not really llama pee. They called it, they were teasing us, but
yeah, but it's there are things
early. Getting there early.
Yeah. So so the altitude I bought everyone a canister of oxygen to take with them. We didn't really need it because they had oxygen, but it's good to know it's there. Several people did end up using it. Some Bonnie asked if anyone experienced altitude sickness. No, we didn't have any real altitude sickness. Maybe Sharon had. I think she ate. What did she have? She had something.
But she didn't take the Diamox. You remember? They were taking the herbal instead of the Diamox, and then she was having headaches because of the altitude, so she took Excedrin migraine. So
and it made her heart go dip. But the other thing is she couldn't take the Diamox because of conflict with another medication.
Oh, that's right.
So there was, you'll be talking to your doctors about all this. You will not be relying on
Jeannie, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I think the Diamox is definitely helpful, but there were like 10 of us that had it, and all 10 had different instructions on how to take it. So I think it's really critical you discuss it in more depth with your physician or even other people that have taken it, because quite frankly, I probably should have stopped taking it once we got through Dead Women's Past, because I think by continuing to take it, once you'd already calibrated at that highest elevation, it kind of did more harm than good, because I actually stopped taking it, felt much better. Then I knew we were going up again another day, so I took it in the morning, felt sick again, and then just stopped it altogether day 3. And that's just a point.
And we shouldn't she said she felt sick again. I think everybody has a different reaction. Some people had no side effects. Some people had some side effects. So again, but it's there for you.
That's right.
It's a great thing, a tool to help you with the altitude. So
yeah, I mean, I'm glad I had it. I think it definitely helped a lot in, until you get to that highest elevation. I just think you need to understand how it works. And, some
Nor-
people, I mean, I know Ellisor stopped taking it. I think once you're kind of okay, you should just stop it, because I think it does have some side effects.
Right. Good.
I actually stopped it on day number 2.
Oh,
Like after day number 1, I didn't feel good, and I stopped it and I felt better.
so yeah, so everybody has had a different reaction, but it's just good to know it exists and it can give you some ease.
Well, you have to
know-
listen to your body, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
other things going on. Peru is a place where you do not drink, the water out of the tap, period. And so, there's other things that can be going on just because you are in a foreign place. So, you want to make sure you have all those meds with you. It'll all be on the packing list that you'll get, the Imodium, the Pepto-Bismol and all that stuff, and your bodies,
And we need a MacGyver for the next trip. So Christine, you're gonna come along again.
Who knows? No. I have other trips of yours I want to do, Jeannie.
Okay.
Only so many vacation days, but
I know. So there's okay, so let's, before we get to fitness and training, let's do the camping and peeing. So camping, for those of you who aren't campers, I'm not a big camper, but you have your foam mattress. I think the people who did best were ones who brought their own foam mattresses. You have the super luxurious foam. I didn't think my foam on my mattress underneath my sleeping bag was found myself sliding off of it onto hard earth a few times.
I loved mine. I took my sleeping bag, the sleeping pad, I took all my gear, and I'm so glad I did. I slept like a rock.
Yeah, you did. We all were a little jealous of your comfy, you were like the princess.
yeah, I took my own too. I just wanted to make sure to know for certain I wasn't going to be cold, because I've camped when I was cold before. So, and the peeing. So the peeing's the interesting thing, right? Because I don't know about you, but most women of our age that I know have to get up once or twice in the middle of the night. And so that's not as much fun, but we had somebody in our group that was just very clever about it. And she peed in her bottle every night. And when I realized that, I was like, how smart. I'm up freezing, with my pants down, peeing. And I've since subsequently done some research, and there's little, like disposable packets that are shaped right to pee in on Amazon. So that's what I would recommend for the middle of the night peeing. The rest of it's okay. The bathroom situations aren't always very great, but it's part of the charm.
Well, it's better than it was when I did it 13 years ago, when there was no facilities. So there was only like one place along the way where you could actually have a toilet. Everything else was crouching or stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, so it is. It's a mixed bag. But they didn't they have a name for when you have to go pee along the trail?
You're
Flowers.
Picking flowers. That's why I forgot. So it's like, oh, gotta go pick some. You tell the guide, I gotta go pick some flowers, and you'll stop, and you can go off and find a bush. So so that's fine. People brought other things. Somebody who's not here, she brought a plastic penis, basically. So
like a funnel, kind of a
funnel.
funnel.
It's like a funnel, but it was called something. Wasn't it called something stupid like that? A plastic your own penis. I just happy with the squatting in the. I didn't bring anything extra. I just squatted and dripped. Sorry, but drip dry. But so camping is you go. What they I'm trying to think. Do they give you? Oh, they come to your room, your tent in the morning. They have tea and they're cocoa tea. And they're
and hot water, a bowl of hot water again.
Yeah, to wash your face. Yeah. So they're very thoughtful, and all the porters are just lovely, 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 sweet people. And so the camping, even if there are people who were on the trail who with us who were not campers, they survived. It's not maybe it's not your favorite way to sleep, but it's the only way to do the trail. And you just you're often so tired that you just
Exactly.
it becomes no matter what, you're like, okay, I can do this.
Well, again, the badge of honor, right? I mean, this is how you get there. So, you know, you did it. We did it.
You had to put up with all that. Okay, so let's talk about fitness, which is so important. And I can tell you, I did end up going to, we can all tell our training stories. I did go to Colorado in August and did some hiking. I actually, I'll tell you this, that I did it 13 years ago when I was 48. This time was actually easier, and that sounds counterintuitive, but I think I'm in better shape now. But also when I did it before, I was with my husband and we were very competitive. And so of course I pushed myself too hard. So I went slow this time with everybody. We just had a slow pace, made so much difference. It was so doable, just keeping it slow. And so that's going to help. But I cycle and swim like almost every day. So I do something. So I felt like I was in good shape already. And then I had some altitude testing before I went there. I was in Colorado. So Christine, you did some good training.
Yeah. So, and I know someone on this said, you know, take it as a fitness, and I've been fit, but my weight crept up, you know, over the last couple of years. And so Jeannie, was I the first to sign up? And so as soon as I signed up, I had about 9 months, and I'm like, okay, this is when I really need to make a change. And it was, you know, this was enough to scare me to really, you know, getting back into my regular fitness routine. And so I pretty much worked out 5 days a week. I was cycling, my Peloton was getting ridden a lot, and I was swimming and walking a lot and doing a lot of hiking. And I lost probably close to 30 pounds over the course of those 9 months, which was great.
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's fun.
So I could take that heavier pack because, you know, I could just fill that in. And then, you know, I started trying to do really long hikes. I live in Chicago. We're pretty flat, 600 feet above sea level. So one of the things that I really think would help, like it's hard to really train for the Inca Trail. You have to train to get your fitness right and take long hikes. I know if you read some of the things, you know, I was doing 10, 11, 12-mile hikes pretty regularly towards the end. But again, they're kind of flat. And what you can't really train for well is these Inca steps. You saw some of them in the pictures, you know, so you're coming down on hard steps and going up hard steps. And so I would say the one thing I maybe would have done differently is tried to work on a lot more stairs, like going someplace, parking garages or whatever, and just going up and down stairs more. Because you can't really simulate that any other way. I thought walking up and down the sled hill would do it, but it wasn't stairs, it wasn't hard. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know if anybody else has something different. Or
what about you, Olga? What did you do?
Well, I trained, I did some boxing, I did some hiking, and I thought I'm in very good shape just because I always been. But when I came back and I went to train again with my trainer, I said to myself, oh my God, I should have done more of this before the hiking. I think don't assume that because you are kind of trained before, whatever, it's gonna work just fine. I would say really train, because I mean, it was some hard parts of the trip for me. Even I managed, but yeah, it was hard. And then also for the stepping down Inca Trail for the last day, I kind of stretched my knee. So I would say if somebody has knee challenge, take this knee, not knee pads, but knee, how do you call it?
Yeah,
No, you had
a brace.
Yeah, the
brace.
yeah, just have them to help. But I would say if I go again, I will train more.
Okay.
Just to be more calm and more relaxed. I think a lot of my hardness came from anxiety. On first day, I kind of didn't realize that it will be harder than I think, and I start stressing out. So be calm. It's not like you're gonna manage anyway. And I think when anxiety comes into place, it's really was my challenge. It's not really how hard it is, but how you take it.
Your mental, how you approach it mentally too. I think.
Yeah, mental, like with all this attitude challenge, it's not like I felt too bad, but I start kind of having a little anxiety and it create more. So you
Yeah.
have to have really trained mind with calm, you're gonna manage it. We saw, I wanted to share, remember we saw those women, 3 of them who were celebrating 70 years anniversary for 3 of them.
Yes.
And it was group of 3 women, 70 years old, hiking in the same kind of time as we are. And I thought, oh my God, if they can do it, I can do it. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
That's good.
so that's, and the peeing, yeah, container helped me a lot. I don't know, whatever, like people say something else exists for the night in the
Amazon?
yeah, for the night camping.
Yes.
That was the best part, because I don't know, to step out, come in, it's like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
that worked very well.
Good.
Definitely.
What about Denise? What about your training?
Well, I had the opportunity, I have 2 kids in college in Colorado, so I had done at least 2 good hikes in Colorado. We had a family vacation in New Mexico, in Taos specifically, and my entire family went and did about an 11-mile hike there. And then probably 3 days a week, I live in Austin, Texas, and we have something called Mount Bunnell, and I'm not positive I know how much altitude I gain. I think it's like 700 feet, but we're pretty much at sea level. I think there's 106 steps up and 106 steps down at this Mount Bunnell. And so I would do sets of those. And so by the end of it, I was doing about 15 sets of up and downs on this. And then on top of not just the steps, but they have a little loop that goes around to the parking lot. And it is so much like the entire Inca Trail that was what I was so grateful for. Was it's rocky and unstable, and it was, you constantly had to look for the right place to put your foot. So I felt like that was probably the best training I could do, was here in Austin, was doing the Mount Bunnell area. But I also went on several 10+ mile walks, just so I knew my shoes could handle it. And I have to say now that my favorite shoes, or my most comfortable shoes, are my hiking boots.
They're really broken in.
So, okay, look, so I think several of us are wearing it. We have our I Survived Machu Picchu shirts on.
I know, I couldn't find mine, so anyway.
Well, I think we all feel like we earned it. Yes.
Yeah, we did earn it. And
Yeah.
I know, Courtney, you hiked on Mount Bunnell with Denise, but anything else specific?
Yeah, I would say, looking back, I would do more stairs, but to Denise's point, and for those that are questioning, whether or not physically you might be able to do it, I have a torn labral in my hip and a stress fracture in my hip, and going down was more painful than going up, but you can do it. So I would just say, if you have bad knees, bad back, bad hips, don't let that dissuade you, but train around that. And then the one thing that I would say, which I wish I could take back and do so differently, is they say, do not buy new shoes for this. You buy them ahead of time, break them in. So I had some really nice backpacking boots, really heavy. I just looked up, they were over 3 pounds for the pair. So going up and down I left them in Peru, if that tells you. And these are like $300 boots. I just left them there. I was like, I never want to see these boots again. Get the Hokas, get something lightweight, that more like tennis shoes. I mean, you can do the hiking, the height, but oh my gosh, comfortable shoes, lightweight shoes for sure.
That's a good point. What about you, Emily, who lost a shoe along the way? Is Emily still on here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm-
okay.
I mean, as far as training, I mean, I did not do any real hiking to train for this, but
You're a marathoner, we should say that.
I train every day. I do a lot of running on hills and bridges and things like that. So I think that certainly prepared me. I did have a knee injury that occurred about a month before this trip. So to Courtney's point, that's not a deterrent. I mean, I did wear a knee brace every day. Couldn't have done it without hiking poles. And I really think that's a requirement, like
Yeah.
you said, Jeannie. And, you know, I would just say, you know, kind of the rule, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it's not about, you know, like I tell everybody that asks me, you know, wow, you've done a lot of marathons, this is my first one, you know, what should my goal be? And I'm to finish, you know, it's not about getting there in a time. It's not about being in a certain place. I mean, we all enjoyed everybody's company all along the way, and we're at different places in the group all along the way. And I think that's what made the dynamic so fun. You know, it's all about just getting there together. So
yeah, and I want to tell you guys this too. So this this coming August, we're having a wellness, next time is having a wellness retreat in Evergreen, Colorado. And I'm going to do an add-on, either that you can come on separately, you don't even have to do the wellness retreat, or but I'm going to go up to Leadville, and I want to spend like 3 nights, 4 days in Leadville and hike a 14er. So that would be a good training. That'll be early, you know, it'll be in August, early, you know, mid-August. So you could decide, you could make sure that you're feeling comfortable. And so I will let you know about that as well. So, and I don't know if anything we said discouraged you tonight, but I think, you know, as Emily and Courtney said, they did have some injuries, but they worked through it. It was important that you can do that. But I mean, and I just want to say too, that if you were to sign up, we had like 2 or 3 even Zoom meetings like this with the group that signed up. And the important thing is to sign up, as if you are interested, to sign up early. And I'm just saying that because so you can start planning and we can start talking, but also I have to submit everybody's, to get the license, the permit to hike, I have to submit everybody's name, passport information, etc., as early as possible to make sure we get the days that we want and the you know, the best camping sites and so forth. So I'm going to put this here. I put I've already posted the information on the new trip and the dates and everything. So there will be 3 days in Cusco with activities, meaning cooking class. You can also take I can help you get, if you want to do some hiking or something from there, just to test that. We can do that, you know, do that. We have nice dinners. I mean, it's a fabulous city in and of itself. And so, but and then I also, we're staying at I've looked at different hotels. We stayed at a very nice hotel, but I want to, you know, go up a little bit. We're going to make it a little nicer. And we are also going to do some just a slight changes in our hiking plan. So the scariest part for me as a guide is, you know, being responsible for a group, was we got up at 2:30 and we hiked down these really steep steps with just our headlamps. Now, some people on this call will say that was one of their most memorable times, and it was memorable, but it was also a little dangerous. So I don't really want to do that again. And we were so beat by the time, weren't we? Just all just wiped completely by the time we got to Machu Picchu. So I'm adjusting that, but that all these adjustments cost. I'll have to work with the company to don't have to have an extra day of porters and guides and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anyway,
we were her guinea pigs, so you guys will do have an even better trip, which we had
And
a fabulous one.
I was going to say, be careful using that word guinea pig when you're talking about Peru.
Good point. Good point.
And
And
I
they-
put my number, my email, and I think Denise did too. You know, for anybody that has questions, feel free. I love talking about this trip. Like I said, it was life-changing. You know, I would love to give you my perspective and to answer any questions, but you know, my 2 cents is do it. Do it. Don't think twice.
do it. And I'm trying to see if there's any quick questions I could answer in the chat. Anybody, if you have a question that's just burning right now, please just ask right now. If you have something that's you feel like important. I mean, equipment questions, those are down the line. I mean, we can take care of that. But if there's anything like a larger question about whether or not this is something for you, please ask it now. I want you guys to feel comfortable. And I've recorded this, so I'm going to post it on our website, and so you can go back to it. Or if you have a friend that who's interested in coming and wants to know, she can watch this, and then there will be other information. You know, we'll definitely have more time to talk about this, because it's a kind of trip that you really want to be prepared for. So we will do everything we can to help you get prepared. How's everybody feeling? Everybody's snoring.
Gonna do it.
Oh, very good. This is
Okay.
great.
Athena, you got answers, questions answered?
No, yeah, oh, yes, I did. This was great, informative. The camping is taken care of. I was more worried about the bathroom breaks.
It'll be very low on your worry list once you're out there. You're like,
But see, after 1 hour talking to y'all, I'm already comfortable with it.
good. You don't need to be like Jean Mizell and bring her penis that she bought on Amazon. Anyway, just you'll know that we'll joke around so much, and I hope we'll get the same guide, because he was just so much fun to take part of this. So anyway, if there's nothing immediately, you have the emails from Emily, from Denise, from Courtney. If you want to get it, and maybe somebody else, I'm not sure, but please contact them. Also, you can always contact me. But again, I like this information coming from somebody, and Christine's email is there. If everybody sees it, I like a lot of this information coming from somebody other than me. So you know that it's somebody who was part of the trip, not leading it and all that. I like that. So I hope you'll respond, and maybe we'll see you in October next year. I'm going to do it again. I'm doing it again, girls. I loved it.
I might do it again now. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped up on this call. Denise, are you in?
I can't stop smiling this whole meeting. I've just been living it has been
reliving it. And
wonderful.
I think we'll end, but I'm gonna just have each of the women who went, the question we did I think at some point, was it harder than you thought? Christine?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a but? Yes, but?
But it's doable. It was harder than I thought. Those Inca stairs, they're hard. And I too had a knee that I knew bothered me, but it bothered me more on the trip, you know? So,
yes. And Denise, harder than you thought?
I would say it's mentally harder than I thought. Physically, okay. I think I knew what I was getting myself into physically, but mentally it was tough. And for anybody that, but for anybody that might care, I actually had knee replacements about 5 years ago. So if I can do this, you guys can do this.
Oh, that's good. Okay. And Emily, harder than you thought or not?
It was harder than I thought it was going to be, but
I'm a marathoner.
I was expecting difficult, you know,
Okay.
so, but definitely, like everybody said, it's definitely doable. There are really no obstacles. Again, it's not a time-driven event. It's so enjoyable. You won't regret it.
Okay. And Olga, harder than you thought?
Yes, definitely. It was harder than I thought. I thought like, oh, I see like old ages people doing it. I can do it. And it was hard. But I'm glad I've done it. And now since it's gone, yeah, you're thinking, oh, maybe I do it again. So funny. It's a lot of amazing. Oh, another thing, I don't know, we talked, but you know that I tried to meditate on some certain points of the top of the mountain, and that was part for me why I would do it again with meditation group, because I think it's very spiritual places. So if possible, and if you group decide, I think it would be amazing for you guys, even the spot where I picked on that fort, to plan it into program like 1 hour meditation or chill out or whatever. I think it's, or Winnie Winey area, it's a definitely spiritual place. If you are meditator spiritual, it's great to you to be part of it. Yeah.
And good. That's great. I love that. Courtney?
It was hard. It was harder for me, not the going up for me, I'm not going to say was easy. Going down because of my hip was exponentially harder. I didn't know, but I could do it, but I would do things differently, like have different boots and all of that. So I don't know. I mean, I think it was a little bit harder. The going down was harder, but if it weren't for my hip, I think it was about what I, probably thought. Although Denise and I, that first night when we got in trouble giggling, we were laughing. We were like, what have we gotten ourselves into? But so to Olga's point, sometimes the anxiety, like, talking about what's coming up the next day. But once you do it, you're like, oh my gosh, I've done this. And I can imagine it's kind of like a marathon, you train and you're worried, but then you do it and you're glad you've done it. So I don't know.
I would say it was the right hard, right? Because if it wasn't hard, we wouldn't have the accomplishment, the sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The right hard.
The right kind of hard. I like that. Yay. Okay. Anybody, thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for coming, and just let me know if there's any questions. I will send the link. I'll upload this to YouTube, then send you the link as soon as I can. And maybe we'll see you on the trail.
Great. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, Janice.
Bye. Have a
Bye,
nice
everyone.
night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.